Hi guys, KE0LMY here. We are in beautiful Warsaw, Missouri. That is Truman Dam over there. And this is Fire Chief James Vaughn. He is here to kind of be my guest for the show this month because we just got done with a full-scale exercise, which you heard me talk about a lot during the intro of the show. So there were a few things that we didn't expect to have happen.
Yeah.
That were supposed to be injects.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have an inject where the handheld radios that they were using didn't work in the area where we were. We didn't actually expect that to be a thing that happened. So, what do you think?
Yeah, that's true. That took us by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Figured that one channel, your channel, would work, but
Yeah, we thought that the EMA channel would work even if their local fire channels didn't. But guess what? It didn't. So what did we end up doing?
using you and the other amateur radio people, ham radios, and you two talk to help pass on our info we needed.
And we always have to be careful because, as you guys know, that there's FCC regulations on what we can and can't broadcast over amateur radio. Luckily, a lot of it just had to do with bringing supplies down into the area, letting them know where we were at, because it's supposed to be every 20 minutes, the first responders are supposed to check back in with the incident command post. We were a little longer than that. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I barely noticed time moving. When James told me that we'd been gone for 40 minutes, I went, it doesn't even feel like 40 minutes. It felt like we were gone for like 10 minutes.
When you get your blood pumping, it doesn't.
You don't.
Time flies by quicker.
Yeah, you have no idea. So, what are a few things that you learned from the exercise while we were out there?
Having you guys out there with the ham rate actually did help when we lost communications.
And if you notice in the after action, when we were doing the hot wash, there were a lot of firefighters that actually want to become ham radio operators.
At least 2 or 3.
Yeah,
and then trying for sure.
And then we had the Morgan County EMD out there, and he wanted to get a bunch of firefighters together because he also observed that there was quite the issue, and it was very handy to have ham radio operators out there.
Yeah.
So I think that all in all, the exercise went really well. I genuinely, when I wrote the inject, I did not believe that it was going to actually be a problem. I thought, oh, we're going to have to invent the problem. No, that thing happened from the get-go. Like the minute they got out there, what, you guys started having problems even before I got on scene.
We was using our private channel. As long as when Command was trying to use a handheld radio to get a hold of us, he had issues.
Yeah.
When he used a mobile, it was easier because it has
Well, of
more
course,
power.
more power, yeah. Bigger antenna,
And
lots of things.
Usually our command post always has a mobile.
Yeah.
Or usually.
Usually.
This time we decided to try to do the incident without one.
What did we find out?
Now I like mobiles.
So it was a lot of learning about the real
different types of radios.
The real problem, I think, is the Missouri rock. The rock is really what causes the issues in this area. So finding that out. The other thing that we could have done is test the MOSWIN capabilities, because here in Missouri we have something called MOSWIN. It's a fully digital system, radio system, and it would be interesting. I think we might run back out there and see if the MOSWIN radios work where the EMA frequencies didn't.
Yeah. You had them?
Yeah.
That's the only way we can test them.
Yeah, we can test them. So, what other things besides the radio issues did you take from that exercise? Because it was quite an in-depth exercise.
Some of the guys need to learn. We had to help them to learn what should go in a rescue bag. Make sure it helps them get their bag set up correctly. Some of them just has to learn how to talk on the radio still. A couple of them need to learn how to read GPS on their phones.
And we told them about putting a widget on their phones that's not dependent on the internet or a phone signal to give them GPS coordinates. The other option would have been to use the compasses because we have access to those. I would say that should be included in there. Even if it's a med bag, I don't think there's any harm in putting a compass in it because you never know when you're going to need one. So I think the general consensus during the hot wash all the way around the circle in a clean sweep was that everybody needed more comms training. And that's actually pretty common for exercises. The first thing that always fails is communication. So it doesn't matter how good the team is if the training's not there. So I know that I'm going to be stepping up and helping with training because I'm on the fire department now.
It wasn't just the communications over the radio either we all talked about. It was communication between each other and out in the field.
Yeah, out in the field and at
Working
the command
beside each
post.
other.
Yeah. A big thank you once again to Aries, Camden County Aries EC, Ernie Venus, W0LTC, because honestly, he and Fred, K0FG from the Lake of the Ozarks Amateur Radio Club, were fairly instrumental in getting information from those of us who were in the field over to the incident commander. Because the incident commander was very quick to say that Ernie gave him all the information that we broadcast over the radio. So communications was really good between our Aries guys and the incident commander. I was really happy with that. So my biggest lesson learned is probably give the comms training more often. Doing it once or twice a year, even for one department, is not enough because there's always somebody who can't make it to training. There's always somebody who forgets. There's always somebody who's new. People who have mic fright. It is really hard for a lot of people to just jump on and talk. So that's been my little segment. Any final thoughts, Chief?
No, everybody did great on that exercise, so proud of everybody.
All right, guys, KE0LMY, we're going to get him trained up so that he'll have a call sign. I'll have him back on here after he gets his own call sign. Talk to you guys next month.